Chambers, 200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. Okay. Councilwoman Deeb?
Here.
Oh, Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Here.
Council President Foster?
Here.
Councilman Armington is hoping to call in, as well as Councilman Elms. Councilman Silva is excused tonight. Madam President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, please. Followed by the rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are 6 items on the consent agenda for approval this evening. Unless a member of council would like to remove one or more for separate consideration, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
You got my changes on those?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Davis? Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I
Councilwoman,
apologize.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Council President Foster, I just want to make notice, if you'll allow me to, on item 6, that event is usually in October, where it has been in the past. So I just noticed now, I just want to articulate for the public that it is occurring over what looks like to be Labor Day weekend, but regardless, I just think that if we could get a notice out like we usually do with Nixle, and just to allow the community, because it does
Impact.
allow for a little bit of disruption. It's not a huge, enormous race, but it does allow. So just to make sure that we have that in the Nixle so that the neighborhood can be, and I do believe that a neighborhood gets noticed
Yes.
as part of the procedure, but if we could also ask the administration to include that in their
Sure.
report, that would be good.
Councilwoman, just to clarify, the 7th is actually the Saturday after Labor Day this year.
Okay.
Labor Day is early.
So it's still usually, I think, was in October. Wasn't it in October, Mayor, in the past, over Columbus Day?
I don't remember the exact date, but we'll get the notices out.
All right.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're always at that one.
All righty, at this time, I'd like to,
Excuse me. Councilman Elms is calling in.
okay. Well, while he's dialing, at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing portion of our meeting. If there are any members of the public wishing to be heard, please come before us, state your name, address, and try to keep your comments to less than 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Scott Pino. The address I'm going to use is 200 South Street. I'm an employee here for the town
You
of
said Scott Keno?
Pino, P-I-N-O. I am an employee here for the town of Morristown. I'm currently assigned to the Detective Bureau. First and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight in this forum. I'm here on behalf of Local 43, the PBA, to just brief the administration and the public of an event we're looking to do, and I think maybe later tonight or in the near future, it's going to be presented to the council for, okay, perfect. Just let you know the reason behind this. So, as most of you guys know, there was a fire early April that displaced many family members in the area of 6 Flagler Street. After we went up there as the police department and many first responders, we saw a lot of people that needed some help. So what we decided to do was look for an idea of what we can do to help. We knew The town took the initiative, the fire department took some initiative and started doing a collection for anything they can do to help. So we decided, what brings people together more than sports? So we took the idea of doing a 3-on-3 charity basketball tournament for this upcoming Saturday, and all the money raised will go back. We have it presented to the neighborhood house. We're looking to engage the public a little more and get out there and just be part of the community more than just as a profession, more so as be part of it. So with this idea, we've canvassed the town, looked for donations, we've sent numerous emails out to all over the state, and engaged a lot of people who seem to be pretty interested in this event. So we look forward to anything we can do to help, and hopefully this is the first of many events, so it's really it.
What time is the event?
The event starts at 10 a.m. and goes till 4 p.m. Right now, we have the food being donated. We have a DJ saying that he's going to come down and DJ it, and just try and get as many people out as possible and just kind of have a good time.
Have you gotten, it's at Caldwell Playground, correct?
Caldwell Playground, yes, ma'am.
Did you get the flyer to Kevin for the Morristown Green? Is it out there already, Kevin?
I believe our one of my lieutenants put it out to a couple news medias. I don't know who he gave it to, who didn't.
Have him resend me the latest one, and I'll have it redistributed.
Okay, thank you. So it's a 3-on-3 charity basketball tournament. So the ages are 15 and up. And there's going to be obviously things down there for younger kids, and just trying to get as many people as we can to enjoy some food, some friendly competition, and a lot of laughs.
Okay.
So this Saturday?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the flyer, Barbara?
I do not.
Okay. Just when you send it to the business administrator, just make sure that Margot gets it, and we'll get it out to all of the council members to try to distribute it, since it's this Saturday. And we'll notify our constituents.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard tonight? This gentleman had his hand up first. Sorry.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jacob Aristizabal.
Can you spell that, please?
Aristizabal. My address is 4 Hanover Avenue, Whippany, New Jersey. I am an active member of the local church Central Biblical of New Jersey. Thank you for this opportunity to talk with you guys. I just simply wanted to announce and invite you guys on behalf of CBNJ, our local church, to our 14th annual Morris Community Integration Festival. It's going to be held July 27th, Saturday, July 27th, in our very own Morristown Green. And it's a great day in which we're really just building bridges and creating pathways for diversity and community integration. And we would love for you guys to come and experience Latin America and the culture that Latin America has to offer in our very own green here locally. And so hopefully, you can come and bring family, friends, and just enjoy everything that's going to be offered for the whole community. Thank you.
What time is it?
It's going to start at 12 noon, and it will run till 5 p.m. So it's Saturday, July 27th.
Have you sent the flyer to our clerk or to our business administrator? You have a
Yes.
flyer?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Karen Keene from Oliphant Park. I noticed on the June 25th meeting, an ordinance was introduced, number 28-2019, but it's not on today's agenda. I'm here to say, when it comes back, I hope you will table it. There's a lot of issues in that ordinance that involve the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th wards.
What is the ordinance number again?
28-2019.
Attic and basements.
It's not on.
That was passed.
It's not on tonight's agenda, but
No,
I wanted to bring up
Going
that,
to the planning board for a consistency
Yeah.
review. It will be on the August 6th agenda.
okay. Well, anyway, I feel it should be tabled. I feel there should be a committee set up of not only the insiders, but also the outsiders like myself, who owns property, that this could be affected by. And there's certain things that you keep pitting the small property owner, who is the foundation of this town, against these big landlords and what have you. And there's an inequity between the two groups that I feel that should be brought out to you. And being in the business of renting for 40 years, I feel that I can contribute quite a bit if there's a committee set up to involve the smaller landlords. And I'm sure I might be able to get Marge Brady to join in too. Okay? And then we have, I went on, you have a new system now for looking up ordinances and what have you. And I just got used to the old one. But when you go down to chapter 30, up comes a 344-page document. I guess it's the new planning. Is that what it is? That
Zoning ordinance.
zoning ordinance that, and there's no, you don't know where to go. There's no index or anything, like the other ordinances, 1 through 29. So is there something going to be done so you can locate things? There's no index to it.
We'll look into it. I'll ask the planner. I haven't gotten any complaints on it.
Well, maybe nobody's gone in to look at it.
Well, a lot of people look at that new zoning ordinance.
No, it's just a 344-page
I know,
document.
because it's a document that's the new zoning code for the town of Morristown.
I know, but it's generally outlined, number one,
I'll have the
2,
planner look
3.
at it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Marie, last name Rozan, and I just have a couple of questions. How many
What's your
build-
address, please? for the record?
Briefly. 40 West Park Place in Morristown. How many buildings are proposed or in the planning stage between Morristown Station and the corner of Spring and Morris? I just heard today that the vacant lot next to the Grasshopper is going to be developed also. And I'm not sure what's happening with the MPA garage or the MPAC expansion or a lot of other things that are going on there. So that was my question. And the second part is there a unified plan considering all these new entities for Morris Street? I am aware that the M Station has a roundabout, but I don't know about the rest of the street and other plans and how everything will feed in. And is there a unified plan? That's my question.
Those are your questions. Thank you.
Roseanne, R-O-Z-I-N.
Well, after the public hearing, we'll have comments from council members and administration.
That's easy. 2 buildings on M Street.
Okay, if there are no, Bill, what would our meeting be without a comment from Bill? This better be a good one, Bill.
Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street in Morristown. And I'm here to talk about, I was just walking up the way and just realizing that there's a lot of signs missing where it says, there's only like one sign that says stop for pedestrians. And I don't
Is this
know
on
what
Franklin?
happened. Huh?
This is on Franklin Street?
Yeah, it's on Franklin Street by where the crosswalks are. And I just noticed some of them are missing. Thank you.
Bill, you're talking about the ones in the middle, right? In the street. Gotcha. No. Let me put a couple out there.
All right, seeing no more comments from the public, at this time, I will close the public hearing and go toward council members for any comments regarding a public hearing.
You know, just on Ms. Roseanne, Dr. Roseanne's comments, you know, we are looking at that as part of the project associated with Morris Plaza. And a lot of the public comments, and I do know, because I have spoken with administration, it is going to be a project that's going to be looked in the context of the other programs that are going on. Though you can never predict what else is going to be proposed, we do get, and it can be shared, we do have a list of proposed projects that you guys are pretty good. We get that once a month, and so you can see what projects are coming down the road. What I will tell you is that, we've had a lot of good public input on several of these projects, a lot of public involvement, and there's nothing that leads me to think that anything is going to be different in the future.
On Ms. Keene's comment about ordinance 28, 2019, at the last council meeting, I don't know if you were there, but the zoning officer did give us a detailed report and rationale for the ordinance, and he did speak on behalf of the municipality. So I would encourage you, if you have any questions, to call Mr. James Campbell and have him speak to you about your questions, and also encourage you to attend the planning board meeting that will be discussing the ordinance. Do we know the date of that planning board meeting?
I want to say the 25th.
Is that the last
I think
Thursday?
I think it's probably be the last Thursday.
25th.
So I would encourage you to
25th.
attend that meeting.
7 o'clock, 7 p.m. start. They changed it to 7 p.m. Used to be 7:30.
All right, would administration like to address any of the public comment?
I think Councilman Iannacone touched on it. I think to be more specific, 2 buildings were proposed on the M site. The parking authority, which Councilman Iannacone is the liaison to, is in the process of putting together, moving forward on the Lot 10 garage. The development that's going to be built after the garage is built, I think, it's been a while. I think it's either 33 or 38 units, that building by Dunkin' Donuts. Other than that, nothing else has been proposed, other than what you stated, the roundabout, which I think is very interesting. And they had a good informational session. I was not able, I was away at the time, or actually recovering. And there's another information session coming up. It'll be posted for the M Street project, so stay tuned. We can check the website. That information will go out in plenty of time for people to know. Other than that, I think Councilman Iannacone is spot on with saying that everything is moving. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to other presentations and reports. Do we have anyone from, or do we have David May from Kids to Kids this evening?
Good evening, everyone. My name is David May, M-A-Y, an easy one. I live at 11 Magnolia Court, Morristown, New Jersey.
But what?
11 Magnolia Court, Morristown. It's actually the township, but I've lived in the town and the township for the last 30 years.
We like when you say you're in the town.
Yes. I'm the co-founder of a not-for-profit called Kids to Kids, and we service special needs kids throughout broadly the Morris County area, but principally within the 3 municipal governments here locally, Morris Plains, Morristown, etc. I'm going to come back and talk a little bit about that. My goal tonight is to get your support for a memo of understanding that we've submitted to all 3 municipal governments in support of a place that we are going to develop for our kids. The purpose of the place is to actually provide a place where special needs kids and typically developing kids can come and socialize in some pretty national settings. I've had some really early discussions with foundations and some hedge funds, and while they like what we do and they like what our proposal is for the place, they want us to see us form greater alliances with governments as well as other organizations out there, so that we're looking why We're a not-for-profit. We're a little guy, and I've got a pretty good track record from business where we're going. For now, we're negotiating to lease St. Virgil's School, which has been closed for 3 years. It looks pretty positive, although you never know with discussions with the diocese that were there. The township people are actually looking at kinds of programs they might be run because St. Virgil's resides there. What we're really looking for from the other municipal governments is more of your support, your expertise, and counsel for what we're trying to do here. So just a little bit of background of why we started this. And obviously, I'm a parent of a special needs child. And when they age out of like T-ball and these other sports, there's really nothing for those kids to do. There's just a real void. And so I just took it upon myself with my daughter and many kids from the local area here to start the organization. Probably more than 80 plus kids from Morristown High School either volunteer from us or they run the organization. We're called Kids to Kids because it's kids running programs for kids. Just to give you a sense of who some of these kids are, 4 of them just became All-American in swimming. I just had my 3rd board member enter the Naval Academy. So I now have a senior, a junior, and a freshman who are volunteering for us. And I could tell you lots of other things that these kids have done. They also just received, and I mean they, the board, just received the award from the Arc of Morris for their commitment to community service out there. When I started this, we just started with swimming and Taekwondo. I was already doing a swimming program, and my son was in a local Taekwondo program here run by, as a matter of fact, a Morristown policeman. Since then, and I'll go back at it again, we now run 8 programs, soon to be 9 programs. We operate 4 nights a week, and we also operate on Saturday and Sunday. Programs range everything from swimming to yoga, to Taekwondo, to art, to drama, to horticulture, which we run with the Arboretum here in town. And the real tragedy of it is we have big waiting lists for kids to get into our program. Many of them for more than a year for them to get there. The place really evolved, the place, which is all we're calling it now, sort of evolved out of this need that kids have. If you have special needs kids, the 3 most critical things for them are social, emotional, and communication development. I tell our kids who volunteer with us, and I don't care if it's in swimming or any of the other programs, that when they're working with that child for an hour or so, it's probably the only time that week that that kid is with a typically developing child. I'll give you a really poignant example. My son, who's on the autism spectrum, is 21 years of age. He has never been invited to a typically developing kid's birthday party, and that's the norm. So think about that for a second. So these kids are really sort of isolated. So we're really looking at ways to make that not happen. The place will operate sort of, if you're familiar with like boys clubs or girls clubs that are out there. I was a great product of one growing up in Philadelphia, as a matter of fact. Or it could be like a college union where we'll run some formal, informal programs there. The whole focus being on social and emotional development for these kids. There'll be a really significant validation component to it, both because we want to see how well we're doing, and also our investors will want to know, what are they getting in return for their money. And given the fact that we'll have a lot of special needs kids, we'll also be having to do lots of things around security going forward. It's a pretty huge undertaking, but one I think pretty comfortable about that we can do it, and I think it becomes a really incredible enhancement to a community to service all kids going forward. So I'm going to stop there. I did supply documents to Margot, including the full proposal, and I also gave the example of the MOU that we have from Morris Plains. I could show you Morris Township, but they're back revising it to look at programs going forward. So let me stop there, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good work. So it's really a resolution of support. Does it go on tonight, or, because we did have a form resolution that was presented, but it wasn't in the resolution list. It was actually part of the package.
Correct, so if you want to put it, you can add it to the next.
For the
Do you
next.
guys want to look at it or anything?
I would like to review it.
Okay, so we can put on for the next meeting. Great.
Okay?
Did you say when the organization got
I would say
started?
we're probably still a year away.
No, when did you start the program?
When did we start? I think we're in our 10th year now.
And is it a free program?
Yeah, almost all the programs free. The only two that we charge anything for, and it's more from a value system, is for yoga and for swimming. And our cost for the yoga program is $5, and swimming is $10. Everything else, golf, art, all of them are free.
Nice.
And because we're a not-for-profit, we're very fortunate to use a lot of the facilities in the public schools. They sort of have adopted us as an organization, so if they have to move us around, they'll even find places for us there. So, but we've got programs in almost every one of the elementary school, and we actually run 4 programs at the high school, including the swim program.
Very nice. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. May.
All right, moving on to report of mayor and town officials. Mayor, do you have anything for us tonight?
Sure.
Soapbox?
Okay, so let me start with, do you want to be a Morristown police officer? Oh,
Came on, do you want to check? to see
Oh,
if
was that Michael?
Councilman Elms, did you join us?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Thank you.
Can I ask them if they want her? Councilman, did you win?
We did, we won 6-2.
Congratulations. Do you want to tell everybody where you were at?
Absolutely, sure. My boys, I have identical twin boys. They're 10 years old, and they are in the sectional finals for Little League.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff, Michael.
Thank you.
Yep. Let them know congratulations from the governing body and the administration.
Thank you. So we won tonight 6-2 against Hillsdale, and the final is Thursday night at Ginty Field at 5:30.
Wow. There you go.
Well, we wish them well.
Yeah.
Another victory.
All right. Okay, so this is a flyer. Do you want to be a Morristown police officer? The Morristown Bureau of Police is looking to attract qualified candidates who are interested in a policing career. In order to qualify, you must meet the following criteria. Must be a United States citizen. Must be a resident of Morristown. Must have a high school diploma or GED. Must be between the ages of 18 and 35. Appointees must possess a driver's license valid in the state of New Jersey. Appointees must pass thorough background investigation, medical and drug screening, psychological, psychiatric, physiological, and psychiatric examinations. Appointees must be able to successfully complete the training program mandated by the New Jersey Police Training Commission. The first step in this process is to register for the New Jersey Civil Service Law Enforcement Written Examination by going to www.state.newjersey.us/CSC and clicking the Public Safety Testing News. The deadline to register for the exam is August 31st at 4 p.m. For further information, you can contact Captain Michael Buckley at 973-292-6631 or visit the open house in Morristown on Saturday, April 24th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., Morristown Bureau of Police, 200 South Street, first floor. I'm going to ask Kevin and Jim if each of you take a flyer, and if you could put this, it would be greatly appreciated by the Morristown Police Department and administration. We'll have it posted on our Facebook and website and get out as much information as we can.
Clerk will send it.
Clerk will send it to all you, and you can get it posted to your email chains, because I think it's a great opportunity and a great career to be in the Morristown Police Department. Is Detective Pino still here? No, he left. I wanted to personally, on behalf of the administration, thank Detective Pino and the group that he's working with to put on this basketball challenge. I think it's a great way to integrate our Morristown Police with our community, and not just, like he said, in very short term, just in policing, but in interaction with the community. So especially our youth and their parents get to know our police officers and on a first name basis, and get to know them when they see them on the street. So there's a connection and communication, and build bonds that make a community stronger through community policing. I want to thank our public safety director and our police chief for the attention they're giving this for our community. Before I go over into the list of different things, I want to just put it on the police chief. Did I lose it? The police chief's desk. There was a incident that took place. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, it's
There you
good.
go, you're back on.
That took place the other day on my street, and I want to let you know that I watched your officers in action, and they're to be commended for their professionalism, their action, their speediness, their readiness into what they had to deal with, and I got to see it firsthand. And they have my compliments, the administration's compliments. I'm going to speak for the council. I'm not going to go into details of what it was, but I got to see it firsthand, and I'm glad I live in a town like Morristown that has a police department like we do. So pass that on, please, to those officers that were on that call yesterday. Okay, quickly. Morristown High School graduation took place the 26th, which I attended. I want to give a shout out to the superintendent, Mackie Pendergrast. He was named superintendent of the schools in Morris County. So we want to give him a big shout out. That's a great honor. The competition is fierce in Morris County, and he is doing a yeoman's job. Also, the trustees of the Green held a dedication on the flagpole Golden Eagle return. So if you get a chance, go to look at the flagpole on the Green, look up, and you'll see the new eagle, the refurbished, restored eagle. It is absolutely beautiful on the flagpole. On Thursday, June 27th, I was not available in Morristown. I heard Meet Me in Morristown was another success. There was a public workshop on the Spring Street development called M Street Project. I have to commend the council and the public and the administration for getting the message out for the meeting. It was well attended, a lot of questions, a lot of good stuff, and I believe it's going to make even a better next presentation and a better project as a result of the public input and the back and forth and transparency between the council, the administration, and the public. So I'd like to thank all three. On Saturday, June 29th, the Shade Tree Commission cleaned up at Pocahontas Park. They're always either planting trees or cleaning up. I'd like to thank our chair, Kristen Ace. They really do take their shade tree very seriously, and they do a great job for the community. I want to congratulate Mavis Tire for the grand opening, Council President. Thank you for attending. Hey, listen, you need a tire? We got tire places.
Got 4 on
There
Friday.
you go. There you go.
And I used my coupon from the grand opening.
There you go. See?
The discount on the wheel alignment.
All right. Wednesday, July 4th. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. I want to thank Leslie Bensley from the Morris County Tourism Bureau. It was a very well-attended celebration on the Green. There were a lot of people. I mean, it was the biggest turnout I've seen since they started this. It was really a great day. I want to thank our elected officials who came, and I want to thank our congresswoman who came and spoke, and of course our reenacting of George Washington is just second to none. And if you're available next year, you should really attend it. It's really a great piece of history to see that happen. So hats off to the Morris County Tourism Bureau. Sunday, July 14th, we had Diversity Day on the Green. I'd like to thank our council president for attending. You know, I came and I ended up staying pretty much the whole day. I want to thank our public safety director and our police chief, Darnell Richardson, on their attendance pretty much the whole day. And I want to give a shout out to all the groups and all the different clergy and all the different speakers that talked about diversity and talked about working together and all the stuff that's going on in our world today that we have to get somehow past this rhetoric and continue to work together to really believe in what I believe in, which is why I live here in this diverse community. And I think it's our strength and what makes us stand out from other communities as an urban center, and it surely showed with the words that were spoken that day. And I want to give a shout out to Kevin Coughlin for his band. If you don't get to see his, do you have the name of the band other than Ukulele Band? Purple Haze, that's right. I couldn't remember, but I got it. Purple Haze. They have, it's a real band. I mean, he has a song that you're going to hear one day that's going to be on some animated, of course, some of those who know that Spider song is something that he's got a market that someone's going to take and go places with. Kevin, you guys have done a great job. And there was other groups there too that did a great job. Some jazz music. St. Margaret's was there. It was really good. So congratulations to everyone who attended Diversity Day and all the speakers that came out from Basking Ridge to Sussex to all over Morris. They just came from everywhere. I'm sorry tonight is a council meeting because we're missing Cops and Rodders again. We try to make it so we don't have a council meeting on that night because the PBA does a great job with getting the old cars in our downtown. I hate when we have our council meeting on that night, but it just fell on this. And we'll try not to make that happen. So again, thank the PBA and for what they do and to bring in different events to our downtown. Everybody make a note right now. Thursday is the Verizon Corporate Class 5K. Thursday night, 7:30.
This Thursday?
This Thursday. So get it out on your message, get it out on our website or Facebook, 7:30. You know the town is inundated with runners. Thousands come to do that challenge. Again, Saturday the 20th, PBA Charity Basketball Tournament at Caldwell Playground. Again, thank you to Detective Pino and the PBA and the Detective Bureau. Thursday, July 25th, will be Meet Me in Morristown. That's 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, July 27th, which we heard tonight, Central Biblical will have their Integration Festival on the Green, noon to 5. I've attended a few times. It's really good. On Saturday, August 3rd, can you believe we were mentioning August already? Oh. I know. Did you hear the
Can you
August.
The August meeting
Oh.
to announce?
Well, we're not going to have another meeting, and so we won't have this announced, because I think the next meeting's the 8th. 6th? I think the 8th. 6th? 6th. I won't be here, so if you move it to another week, that's fine. Saturday, August 3rd, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., Grow a Green. They're al fresco at the farm. Their rain date is 8/4. It's open to the whole community. That's Grow a Green at the farm. That's al fresco at the farm, 3 to 6. It's a great event. It'll be on the website. It'll be on Grow a Green's website, so go check out Grow a Green. And Sunday, August 4th, Calvary Baptist Church Family Fun Day and Community Cookout at Granby Park. That's from noon to 7 p.m. That's August 4th. And that'll also be out there. So I think under that, no, Counselor, anything? Business Administrator, anything?
Council President, if I can just ask a follow-up, at the last meeting, we had, several residents come out, I think, pretty packed chambers to talk about the light pollution.
Larry, let me mention that. I'm
Could you
so
give us
sorry.
a
I
report?
completely forgot that. So the way I look at the audience right now, I don't see too many people complaining about the lights today.
You were here last time.
They were, which,
what happened?
and you all heard my response to that.
Could you give us an update?
So yes, they're all been redirected, the light. We have one complaint still on Franklin, and I believe we're going to redirect one other light that he may be able to see from Franklin. Other than that, the response from the residents have been what?
Thank you, we can all sleep at night now.
So when you say redirect, did you just put like a
Shield.
A shield?
So it just directs more down.
So
we
so you
redirected-
attached a shield to it?
Yes,
or-
so we did two things. The lights that are closest to Town Hall kind of face Franklin. We directed those directly down so that they're not
Going in
pointing
their
at Franklin
windows.
anymore. And then the other lights, we installed shields so that they're, so that they shield the spill.
Yes, and we
We wanted to make sure to try to not over-shield so that we weren't reducing the amount of light in the parking lot. And I think we've struck a great balance, except for the one guy on Franklin that we're going to try to.
Yes, and we'll try to fix that one light, or try to appease that one resident.
Do you have
We-
a sense as to how many lights there were and how many shields were needed? Just to kind of get at like
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
volume or any idea?
Handful. I'm going to state this again. The reason for this was because we had safety concerns, that we had some complaints the lighting was not sufficient. Many decades of not dealing with the wiring issues out in the parking lot kept only a certain amount of lights on. But if you all know from going out of here at night, you all see how dark it is. And I'm sure Marge Brady has seen that, the difference in the parking light.
The reason I'm asking, Mayor, is because, first of all, thank you
Mm-hmm.
for your immediate, quick response there, is there are other parts of town that are impacted too. It's not just this area, but like the tennis courts at the Morristown Field Club that are lit pretty well at night, and they abut on Erskine and Maxwell and Collins.
Yeah, but that's private property.
It's private property.
If somebody has a complaint, then they have to file a complaint.
The track, around the track at night. Like, I'm just wondering what we can do to mitigate, or if there is anything we can do to mitigate
I'm not
any,
sure what you're
any
talking about.
other incidences of this happening throughout other parts of town
Yeah,
that are just as bad as this.
if there's any properties that is owned by Morristown, that's a different thing. If it's town property, if it's private property, we don't have any jurisdiction.
Could the council, I mean, this is after the fact, but could we introduce some kind of regulation or
don't think so.
ordinance that would limit the lighting past a certain
Counselor?
time? Or is that something we can look into to?
Probably not, that would be after the fact. It depends, you're asking a very vague question. It depends on the property, it depends on what approvals they obtained, what the conditions were of their approval. So my response is it depends.
If you can give me specific locations, we'll take a look.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know we can't do anything now about those locations, but going forward, if there's.
Well, I think that any application deals with lighting, and they absolutely, in zoning board and planning boards, we absolutely deal with lighting. How it affects neighbors, how it affects anybody, how they deal with light. Light pollution is serious stuff. So I know for a fact the years I spent on the zoning and obviously the planning board, that is definitely something that we address and deal with on a regular basis on every application. But thank you for bringing it up.
Since we're following up, are we going to get back to the public also on parking on Hill and Franklin Place?
Yes. Our zoning officer did some surveys of, and observations regarding kind of where people are going, and also reached out to property owners in the neighborhood regarding kind of their parking requirements in the apartment buildings. Now that we've got some of that feedback, that we can come back to you with a recommendation.
Thank you.
I suspect it will be something similar to what we have in other neighborhoods.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
welcome.
Administration and Counselor, for your responses. All right, moving on to council liaison reports.
The Morristown Environmental Commission met on July 2nd. The project that was discussed, the main project that was discussed was the Great Morristown Greenway on Patriots Path. And Councilman Armington was the guest, special guest to discuss that project. Currently, they're trying to get some funding to help with a survey that needs to be done, a land survey. So they're looking into that funding. But that's a very good project. It's a grant application that would address, it's part of the Morristown Greenway and Patriots Path. And we also discussed Foots Pond and that they're getting a second opinion on the bathymetric report from Solitude, and some other details around that project. As the mayor pointed out, they discussed the past lakeside cleanups and how successful they were, and but there continues to be a real issue with dumping in all of the waters. That's about it.
Thank you. Council President?
Sure.
I do have something for the police chief, as I just got noticed. I got a complaint on Mill Street of graffiti. I will forward you the email. Did you get it too?
Yeah, Kristen forwarded it already.
Okay, so you already have it on Mill Street. And I know that I forwarded on the bottom of Market, when you're coming up 202.
I sent that to Jason Kennedy
Okay, all right. Thank you, sorry.
That's okay.
Parking Authority actually met this evening, prior to this meeting. They did distribute at that meeting, the annual report for the Parking Authority. I'm going to give this to Margot, and maybe Margot will scan it and give it to everybody on council. I think it gives a pretty good update as to the activities. Also presented tonight was their annual audit. They do remain a strong authority financially. Interestingly, they did present the counts for the May of this year. They do counts twice a year with the Parking Authority with the parking garages. And what's very interesting is back when Century 21 was busy, back in 2015, November of 15, was when the garages were full. The garages have basically slightly declined in terms of occupancy, and in fact have more or less leveled off. There's a lot of discussion as to why that is happening, but the garages, as they stand right now, really stand at about a 70% occupancy. But I'll give this to Margot, and she can also distribute it to the council. I think it's just interesting information. I did, again, voice to the Parking Authority my disappointment that they have not come to the council or presented to the public on the plans for Lot 10. You know, the excuse that they had given us was that their financing was being delayed. My response to that was, what does financing have to do with getting public input? Hopefully, they're going to give us a date soon when they come and present, and it does go back to Dr. Roseanne's comment with reference to looking at the projects along, not just on Morris Street, but looking at the projects throughout the town and what the overall impact is going to be on traffic and the quality of life in town. So hopefully, we will see them shortly. Lastly, they are in the process of working with our planning department and completing the form so that consistent information on parking garage counts is being presented. And so the boards do see a complete and accurate projection on what the occupancy is in these parking garages and what available spaces might be available to facilitate either development and or additional commercial or retail or entertainment traffic in town. Important, especially given the fact that, you know, we have these ongoing issues with Mayo Center, and a lot of people are relying on Lot 10 to be of great assistance to solving the problems associated with Mayo. But it was a good meeting. They work hard.
Thank you. Any other council liaison reports from our council members on the line?
I can scan this or leave this with the clerk if you want more information about the project that was referenced at the Environmental Commission.
All right, moving on to calendar of events. Are there any calendar of events council members would like to make the public aware of? Okay, moving on to regular business.
Okay, we have 4 ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-29-2019, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, establishing compensation for certain officers and employees of the Town of Morristown.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-29-2019.
I'll second.
Any comments from council members?
It's just a general question, probably for Jillian. And it's a question, actually, just let's apply it to all the resolutions this evening associated with the establishments of the new union contracts.
Yes.
Are all of them within the budget range that was presented in our budget?
Yes.
The negotiated rates?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no changes or no surprises that would impact the budget?
Nope.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, call the question, please.
Okay, on the introduction of O-29-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
And Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance 29-2019 has been properly introduced and would be considered further after a public hearing to be held on August 6th. Ordinance number O-30-2019, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, establishing compensation for certain officers and employees of the Town of Morristown.
I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-30-2019.
Second.
Any comments from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
Okay, on the introduction of 30-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance 30-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing to be held on August 6th. Ordinance number O-31-2019, ordinance providing for certain capital improvements at the Morristown Municipal Airport by the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and appropriating $900,000 therefore to finance part of the cost thereof.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-31-2019.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions from council members? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the introduction of 31-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance 31-2019 has been properly introduced by title and will be considered further after public hearing on August 6th. Ordinance number O-32-2019, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Town of Morristown, Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-40.2, handicap parking on streets for private residences, to amend the placard number assigned to a dedicated parking space for a resident on Clinton Street.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-32-2019.
Second.
Any comments or questions from council members? Seeing none, call the question,
On the
please.
introduction of 32-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance 32-2019 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing to be held on August 6th. There's one ordinance for a public hearing and adoption this evening. That's ordinance number O-27-2019, an ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Town of Morristown, Chapter 7, Traffic.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-27-2019.
Second.
At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing on this ordinance. Any members of the public wishing to be heard? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. Comments? Seeing none, call the question, please.
On the adoption of ordinance O-27-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Ordinance O-27-2019 is adopted. There are 20 resolutions on the agenda for adoption this evening. Unless members of council would like to remove one or more for separate consideration.
I'd like to pull 108 and 109 and 120.
Just have a question on 116.
Any others? Okay.
The last one? You said 116?
108, 109, 116, and 120? So if I could, I would ask for a motion to approve resolutions R 102 through 107, 110 through 115, and, I'm sorry, 1 second, 117 to 119, and 121, and Moss.
I'd like to make a motion to approve those resolutions in mass.
A second, please.
Second?
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannicone?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Those resolutions are adopted en masse. Let's see, Resolution 108-2019, resolution authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Max Span RE and Auction Company. Councilman?
Actually, I don't have any concern with this particular resolution, but it actually, because, you know, in our master plan, we talked a lot about pocket parts and the need to start developing open space in town. So I was curious about these properties on Orchard, and actually Orchard already has somewhat of a pocket park.
Yes, it does.
At the end of the street, you've got there's a little playground there at the end of the street, which is nice. But it got me thinking as to, you know, we had this property, the town somehow got title to the property. Do we have a schedule, or if there are any other properties, of open properties or properties that the town owns?
We could certainly
we can
assemble
read-
that.
What's that?
We could certainly assemble it, sure.
Because, again, the whole concept is there an opportunity, because we talk a lot, for example, in the first ward, highly populated between 287 and the Green. Woodhall is the only park that you have in there, it's rather small. But it gives us the opportunity to maybe step back, take a look, and see if any of those properties are in locations where we might be able to consider a quote-unquote community garden, a pocket garden, or pocket park, or a small playground that might create some outdoor space, particularly in the areas that are more densely populated. And it even goes for neighborhoods like the neighborhood we have, they're on Orchard, where you have a lot of cars parked, the lots tend to be dense, and there's not even open space in people's yards. So it actually can help maybe create some open space. And then as a follow-up to that, is there any reason, and again, you've been around with, you know, struggling municipalities in your background, so you would know, is there any reason we shouldn't be looking at what possibly is coming down the road, either in terms of foreclosures, tax foreclosures, or the like, to see if there's any opportunities for the town in that respect to create open space?
I mean, we could certainly review it. We don't really see a lot of tax liens, municipally held tax liens, because we sell everything. That's why our tax rate collection is so high, because people are interested in our property. So there's really not a ton of opportunity to retain tax liens, similar to what you would see in Newark or East Orange and other communities. You know, but certainly if there are properties that have, you know, property taxes in arrears that are attractive to us, we would certainly consider retaining ownership, but I don't see that very often here.
Is there any opportunity for us with the recent bill that the governor just signed with reference to blighted properties?
We actually had
looked at
that
it
discussion
already.
yesterday.
What did you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really more for properties that are completely abandoned by the property owner.
Yeah, they've walked away
You know
from
what
it.
They've
property
walked
I'm
away
thinking
from it where there's
Doesn't
title
fall under it.
issues. Usually those properties have title issues, multiple liens, and other things that encumber the ability for that property to be redeveloped, and where redevelopment even is not a viable option. And so typically, the last resort is for the municipality to acquire ownership and then create a land bank to then start to assemble properties over time as they become available. That's when a land bank really becomes valuable. Thankfully, we don't have that issue in Morristown right now. So it's not really a tool that is great for our tool belt, but I certainly think it's wonderful for our urban communities.
Yeah,
in our
and,
state.
and immediately when that story broke, we had the attorneys look at Elm Street, and it didn't fall into that category. But one of the things that I'm glad the councilman brought up, because one of the things that we'd like to tout when we can is exactly what you brought up, is to preserve open space when we can. And from Early Street Garden to 11 acres over at Loyola to Hillcrest Park that people wanted to put housing on, to the land that's open between Madero. Any chance that we can get the pocket park now outside of Grand Cafe, we stood very strong on that with the county, that stays a pocket park, especially with the new building they're going to do with the county, which we'll be discussing that over the next year or so. So anything you kind of led right to exactly what we've been doing for 10 years, because we have precedented open space acquisition in this town that has never been done for 100 years. We preserved almost every space we could find, we try to preserve. So
Keep the record going.
we'll look at
Let's
that. When
those
we looked at the
vacant
first ward,
properties.
the tough thing about the first ward is there's not a lot between Woodhill and between Jacob Ford has a small park. We'll look into it. I think there's opportunities we've discussed with the property that goes with Woodhull Park. I think there's opportunities with our town hall property, which abuts this first ward. So I think there's opportunities, and we look in every ward. Fourth ward was Hillcrest Park, which is beautiful, and if you go to it, it's gorgeous. So it's something that we have on top of our list. We try to preserve wherever we can and improve wherever we can, and we will clearly look at every inch we can in first ward to see what's available.
And also add to that is when we do planning, like we're doing now along Morris Avenue, that open space associated with development, to the extent that it can be, becomes
Yeah.
public space.
Absolutely. It's important. Thank you, Councilman.
Council President, and to Bob's comment, don't we have the OSRI, the Open Space Resource Inventory? Every town has one, and I know we have done an inventory in the past. And it's basically a document that documents all the open space as a resource. And I know we have one, it's available.
We do.
I've seen it.
We do.
So what was eye-opening to me when I first looked at that document was I saw different pieces of property and I thought, oh, I didn't know that was open space. Oh, what's that? So even just as a resource, you should make that available and take a look at it. And I think it has to get updated.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the biggest
So often, so it probably needs to get updated with Hillcrest and with.
One of the biggest pieces of open space is down at Bishop Nazarene Way and Old Colon Center. That's a huge swatch of open space. But it's flooding issues, and originally there was, 100 units, affordable, more than 100? Was of affordable units that were originally planned for that 10 years ago. We had charrettes at the churches, and then the hurricane came and had water as high as a tractor trailer down there. But a lot of that had to do with the dam backing up, and they've done some improvements down there. So I know that there's been people looking at the engineering of that area. That's a crucial piece of area down there. But there's spots, but some are environmental issues, some aren't.
Is that, for example, owned by the town?
Yeah, it's owned by the town.
Tom's
Yeah,
Space.
we own all that. You're talking about Bishop Nazarene Way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's ours. One other thing, since we're talking about
Should make a
open
park.
space. Well, there's some environmentals, there's different stuff down there that's been looked at by a number of people. Since when, and I would like to get the public input on this, since when state and county pave their roads, do manhole covers become potholes? Is anybody experiencing more and more that these covers, whether they're electric, whether they're telephone, whether they're water, when the state, and Anthony's looking at me, when the state paves the roads, why are the manhole covers so low that it's like going over a pothole? And it's getting worse year after year. Why is that? Do you know? Do you have an answer for that? All right, well, send it in a memo so you can send it to these guys. And for the record, can we please get the grate fixed in front of Swiss Chalet where there's a cone?
That's already been referred to JCP&L. I ask her about it weekly. It's already been added to the list, the cable group or whatever their group is, it's on their to-do list.
I think it's interesting, and it's not just here.
No, it's JCP&L.
It's not just here, it's every road that you go on. These manhole covers seem to sink. Al Chifo, do you have a theory on this? Ooh, I didn't say it. He said it. Quoted by Al Chifo. All right, thank you, that's all. That's my pet peeve for the day. Maybe that'll be a new thing, a pet peeve of the mayor, once pet peeve a day.
That was gonna,
Oh, we have resolutions, that's right, I'm sorry.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number R-108-2019.
Second?
Sorry, Vijay.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-109-2019, resolution authorizing the sale of certain land and property no longer needed for public use by the town of Morristown, and authorizing Max Ban RE and Auction Company to conduct the public sale. Can I have a motion to introduce, please?
I'll make a motion to introduce resolution number R-109-2019.
Second?
Councilman Iannacone?
No comment.
Okay.
All right, call the question,
On the
please.
adoption of R-109-2019, Councilwoman Davis? Councilwoman Deeb?
Yes.
Councilman Elms?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Council President Foster?
Yes.
R-109-2019 is adopted. Resolution R-116-2019, resolution rescinding authorization for disbursement from the town's Affordable Housing Trust Fund. May I have a motion to introduce, please?
I'll make a motion to introduce resolution, to adopt resolution number R-116-2019.
Excuse me, correct. May I have a second, please?
Second?
Second.
Okay.
Who, did you
Discussion?
want to pull?
So I just have a couple of questions on this. We had discussed this last in closed session. I was just wondering why we were discussing that in closed session. It's not pending litigation, nor is it a personnel matter.
Because it was contract negotiations. We were
So-
negotiating a contract.
Okay, so contract negotiations are closed session.
Correct.
Okay, so, so I take it that we sent the letter and there was no response?
That is
Which
correct.
is why this resolution is being, okay.
That is correct.
So-
There was correspondence sent stating that the council wanted certain items in the agreement that were non-negotiable. And if they're not going to agree to it, the council at the next meeting will move to rescind the award. And there was no response.
Okay.
And the resolution was placed on the agenda.
My other question is one of procedure. I didn't vote for this original resolution. I was the only no vote for reasons stated at that time. How could I vote to rescind it if I didn't vote for it? So I was
Two
planning
separate
to
issues,
abstain.
two separate resolutions. You
Okay.
have every right to abstain if you want to, but just
I don't
because you
have to
voted,
abstain because
you don't
I
have to.
didn't vote?
No.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
So legally, logistically, I don't have to abstain?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. No, I think it makes sense to do. I did question during the closed session, you know, could we, at what cost would it be to continue to pursue negotiations? Because obviously, we do have more control with the kind of arrangement that we had been trying to perpetuate, but we weren't able to do that. So, based on your comments and that of the attorney, it didn't sound like pursuing to continue to pursue negotiations or different points of negotiations was possible because it had been going on for as long as it had, and I think we had discussed in length with the whole council, and there was a unanimous
Unanimous.
agreement, so I think it's a good idea. Thank you for doing this.
Okay, thank you, Councilwoman Deeb. Call the question, please.
On the adoption of R 116-2019, Councilwoman Davis. Yes. Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Resolution 116-2019 is adopted. Resolution R-120-2019, resolution awarding bid to Earthworks, Inc. for Foots Pond Wood Trail improvements. May I have a motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number R-120-2019.
You should second this. A second?
Second.
Comments from council
Councilwoman?
members?
Did you?
Actually,
No.
my question was on financing. I know the grant, is this covered 100% by the grant? And if it is not funded 100% by the grant, was it budgeted in our capital improvements?
Yes.
It was.
So thank you again for this, and just a question, it's a simple question, I wasn't able to bring up the trail. So is this improving the existing trail, or is this gonna be the perimeter trail?
It's the perimeter trail.
Around the pond?
Yes,
Okay, terrific, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, call the question, please.
On the adoption of R-120-2019, Councilwoman Davis.
Body of water.
Councilwoman Deeb.
Yes.
Councilman Elms.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Council President Foster.
Yes.
Resolution R-120-2019 is adopted.
All right, thank you. So we have no unfinished or old business on the
You
agenda?
have some old
I
business.
do have a question about,
Oh, it's old business.
No business. Is it on the agenda?
do you wanna bring up anything?
Well, it's not on the agenda, but what I just was going to report out, the landlord-tenant committee, AKA rent leveling committee, we did meet, and we're developing a proposal to bring back to the council, hopefully in August. And I think, Jillian, we're still working on the zoning ordinance with reference to
Yes,
marijuana distribution.
yes.
I just have a item possibly for new business, if it meets with your approval. It came up at the Environmental Commission with respect to Foots Pond Wood, the Friends of Foots Pond Wood. So there's some members of Friends of Foots Pond Wood that are going out on their own and trimming branches and hedging, pulling up invasive species and taking it on their own to do this work. I only bring this up because I was a regular citizen. I got reprimanded for cleaning up Veterans Memorial Park. Actually, no, I was a councilperson at the time, but we were doing a cleanup there, and we got reprimanded by the town. The mayor wasn't the mayor at the time, it was someone else. But it was for cleaning up the park and not for concerns about liability. And so my question is if someone, how does the town currently handle this? Like, I know previously there have been hold harmless agreements where you fill out a hold harmless agreement and you're, that protects the town and the liability. How is the town protected with some of these pocket parks that we have, and if residents are taking it on themselves to clean it up?
I
It shouldn't be
certainly.
a crime to clean up a park, but
Sure,
what
and,
is the
and
process
I
for-
appreciate that we have people in town that are willing to volunteer their time. I do ask that they go through the town for permission to do the projects so that we know exactly what they're doing, and that, what they're doing is not counter to, what the town is doing and certainly is safe. If somebody is interested in volunteering, they can certainly go through my office and we can provide.
So they should request approval through your
Yes.
office?
Yes.
And contact you?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, since we have no other items for discussion, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Meeting adjourned.